Hey guys, what's up, Dragon Ball fam? My name's Nathan, or Infamous on the app and everything. I went. What place did I go? I got 13th at the recent regional here in Dallas, playing my boy Blue Set 26 Gogeta. This deck, I think, is really kind of slept on at the moment. I think it's one of the better blue decks right now. It could put out a lot of aggression, 2 leader swings every turn to draw on each one, so you keep your hand size. This can really compete with like a lot of the top decks right now, especially Vegeta. And as long as that deck is around gatekeeping Zamasu, this deck I think can do really well. Which, you know, getting 13th isn't too bad. I'll run down just a little bit what the leader does. Just on the front side here, on swing, you can do a top 5 search to grab any blue Saiyan, and that could be any Gogeta that you need, any of the pieces that like you are missing, or any of your tech cards, your SCR, Goku Blacks, just any Saiyan you get to add. Its permanent is any time you would go to activate a Union skill for a Gogeta BR, you could choose the cards from your drop and send them to your Z energy instead of using them out of hand. That just lets us super ramp up our Z energy, so we can, you know, utilize our Z deck, not care about explosive dance for any of our battle card swings, and just keep our tempo going. The Awaken is when we are either at 4 less life or we have 3 Z energy, which since we're fusing out of our drop into our Z energy, we can get 2-3 very quickly. We draw two cards, then we Awaken. Front side, same on the permanent, where we get to add our cards from our drop to our Z energy for fusions. Auto, on swing, draw 1 card, just not once per turn. And then the activate main is as long as we have a card with a Union in play, we get to drop 1 of our Z energy and untap our leader, so that way it can swing again and draw us another card.
Draw 2 very strong.
Draw 2 is very strong. I'm going to start with some of the pieces that we are going to be starting with, our Goku and our Vegeta names. I run maybe a little bit different than what the standard or what other people will run, where it's like 4 of each. I don't do that. I think the deck space is tight. There's not always a lot of room for it. So my go-to right now is that we have 4 Vegeta Snowy Mountain Battles. This card, activate main limit 1, is if your leader's backside is Gogeta, you get to draw 1 card, search your deck for a Goku Snowy Mountain Battle, and put it into your drop area, which is really good. Sets up our drop to be able to activate a fusion. He's also a crit swing. This is one of my, probably 9 times out of 10, I will play this on my turn 2. Getting an early crit swing in is, in my opinion, just very good, especially if it's before your opponent awakens. That keeps them off of 1 extra card they will probably grab if they early awaken, take themselves down to 6. It just keeps them off 1 less card. If you're lucky, sometimes that card is going to be an SCR or a super combo, or, you know, just any piece that they're not going to have the rest of that game. Oh, this is preferred turn 2 play. Drop of this. Our other Goku name that we play is just 2 of the long-awaited battle. This one is a turn 1 play sometimes. I think Blue has a better turn 1 play that we'll get to a little bit later. This one is just simple top 5, add a card with Gogeta or Vegeta, and add it to your hand. It could grab any Gogeta card, so your A-drop SR, your SCR, so I play the Gogeta SCR, or just any Vegeta, so it's really good. And then last thing for our pieces is we have 3 of the Super Saiyan Blue, Goku and Vegeta height of power. This one is pretty good. Activate main, activate battle. You could pay 1, play it, draw a card. If you have 2 or more Z energy, give your leader +5, and then auto on plays, you draw a card. I play it a lot during my opponent's turn, just to give my leader an extra +5 power during the battle. If it does stick around into my next turn, then its other auto is on swing. Itself gets +5, so it's a 20k swing, and can choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards to return it back to their hand. If you choose like an opponent's Z battle card, that's just going to go away and not go back to their hand. But I mainly use it just for the name and to do the battle trick to give my leader the +5. That is all we use for the Goku and Vegeta names. That's what, that's 11 names, which to me has been consistent enough, because your leader gets to search them, and you're just drawing enough that you should see enough to keep yourself rolling and not miss out on any of them. Next up, we play the Gogetas. Now, I do straight up just play the deck with like a lot of its own package. I didn't throw like any extra spice here. It is just a lot of stuff from the set. I know I've seen some people go around with like some of the old red blue stuff, which I'm sure that stuff can work and everything. This is just what I found works the best for this deck. So for the actual Gogetas, we play 4 of the Fusion Achieved. This one is a barrier blocker. A lot of the fusions on play, or whenever you activate the Union Fusion, you get to draw a card. Again, place the pieces from your drop into your Z energy. Then this one is on play, gets the +5,000 power, and the barrier until the end of your opponent's turn. So it's a 20k barrier blocker until the end of your opponent's turn, and you are free to swing with it during your turn, because at the end, its last auto is that it gets to switch itself back to active mode. So you get to swing with it, then it comes back up, and during your opponent's turn, you have that 20k barrier blocker. Next one, we have 3 of the Fusion Warrior debut Gogeta. This one, again, with Union Fusion, you draw 1 card. You give your leader +5,000 power for the turn that it is played. So that means you get 2 20k swings out of your leader. And then at the end of the turn, it will place itself into the drop area, and you get to untap 1 energy. So you get an energy back, as well as the 2 20k leader swings. I think this is also strong, but to me has not been strong enough to play at 4, especially because the card does have some answers. Sure, it does have deflect, but again, that doesn't matter against green if they have the charismatic villain, or against black if they have the Z Uni out and they play the SS4 Goku Vegeta counterplay. Then this just goes right away, and so that's why that one's at 3 instead of the 4. Then I play 2 of the Battling a Strong Foe. Deflect, pay 1. This one does not draw whenever you fuse with it, but it does have an activate main where you get to discard 1 card and draw 2. That one's really good because it sets up some of our other pieces into the drop area. If we need to put any Goku or Vegeta name into our drop, you just drop that, draw a 2. Or we play a couple of other cards that activate themselves out of the drop as well, which that can, easy way to get those out there, and then just draw 2 more cards. It also has another auto, is on swing. You get to choose one of your opponent's battle cards, put it at the bottom of their deck. And that's any battle card, not power or cost restricted. So as long as it doesn't have barrier, it's going away. Now for our big Gogetas that we play. I also don't play any of the other 5-drop. The one that is on swing, you draw a card. That one, just in my testing, hasn't been the best. It's easily answered, and you already draw it a lot anyway. That I feel like, sure, it's 2 25k swings that you get to discard and switch it to active mode, but to me, there are just other ones that I want to play like all of the other ones. Next, we have 4 of our 8-drop Battling for Peace. This one is your main boss monster. I do play it at 4. Sometimes I would side out the 4th one in certain matchups if I feel like it wasn't going to, if I didn't need the wide board removal. This one is pay 2. If your opponent has 3 energy, you get to choose up to 3 of their battle cards, place them at the bottom of their deck. Then it's a 35k double striker, and then it's second auto, a lot of people either forget about whenever you are swinging into them, or it really makes your opponent have to think a lot more about how they're comboing out of your turn. Because anytime that your opponent combos and this card is on the field, you get to drop 2 of your Z energy, and they have to bottom deck 1 card out of their hand anytime, or once per battle when they combo. So it really puts your opponent into a situation where, like, do they want to drop 1 extra card just to combo out of the attack? A lot of times, if it's during your turn and your opponent chooses to do a super combo, if it's like a bottom deck draw 2 super combo, your autos go first, so you get to drop the 2 Z energy. Now your opponent has to bottom deck 2 cards out of hand, and that just really puts your opponent into the situation where, like, maybe they didn't want to bottom deck 2 cards, and now they have to get rid of a card that they wanted to hopefully keep around. And that's also during your opponent's turn as well. If they don't answer this and they start swinging into you and they start to combo, then you're ripping cards out of their hand during that too. Also, the placing the 2 Z energy out into the drop really just means that sets us up to be able to just chain into more fusions, because we're just dropping Goku Vegeta names out of our Z energy and just keep chaining into fusions. Now for our SCR, as I said earlier, we are playing the Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, Shining Blue Strongest Warrior. This one is pay 2 for Union Fusion. You draw 2 cards. If your opponent has 3 or more energy, it gains Barrier, Triple Attack, and Blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. It also gets you 2 cards back out of your Z energy into your hand. So it's really just a +4 into your hand. A lot of times, out of the Z energy, because it can grab anything out of there, I am grabbing back 2 super combos. So that just lets me either super combo aggressively early.
Super combos.
And you always see that happening, right? Anytime that there's a loopable super combo thing you could do, that's getting banned a lot of times. So adding back super combos is always really good. Or, if depending on what situation I'm in, if I comboed off, like, say, a Defending Friends, I could get that back. I can get back a Gohan rare, or just anything else that may have gotten comboed earlier within the game. I can just get that right back. Another beautiful thing that this card can do as well is either activate main or activate battle. You get to choose up to 1 of your Gogeta BR cards, and it gets plus 10,000 power for the turn. And that's Gogeta BR cards, not battle cards. A lot of times that goes right to our leader. So we get a 25k leader that's going to swing twice during our turn. If this thing survives during all of your opponent's turn and they don't have a way to remove barrier, then during your opponent's turn, you're just going to give your leader plus 10 with an activate battle. Now they have to swing and deal with a 25k leader during their turn too. This card is very strong. Yes, there is Beast Gohan. Beast Gohan is also, yes, a very strong SCR and very good for blue. I have tested both of them, and I do think that both are very good. But this card, I think, just gets you. To me, this card either gets me back into games where I feel like I fell behind a little bit, or had to really defensive combo early, lets me get super combos back, draw 2 more cards, and just really helps me catch up and get back into games. That's why I chose that one. Mm-hmm. Speaking of our super combos, we do 3 Goku defense. This one is a bottom deck 1 draw 2 super combo if you have 2 or more Z energy. So this is live all game. It could be live turn 1 even, if if you wanted to. Because if you notice, for all of our Gogetas except for the 8 drops, they could be played any turn. There's no turn restriction on them. They could be played turn 1 if you wanted to. But this just sets up our Z energy really early, so we can play these live. Again, these are always going back into our Z energy, and we're this is what I'm grabbing back a lot of times with my Gogeta SCR. The last one is the one of Zeno, kind of staple for a lot of blue decks right now. If you have to charge something early that you want to grab back, then Zeno's always going to be there to save you to get that back. This is sometimes another option for the Gogeta SCR to get back. It's also like an energy on tap, right? So blue loves that, so we're going to take that. Moving on to some of our other tech cards that we play that are non-archetype. We do 3 Goku Black, Warrior or Mortals Be Gone, Double Striker. If you have 3 or more Z energy, activate battle, play it. On play, draw a card, and then bottom deck one of your opponent's battle cards costs 4 or less. Blue Battle Tricks, we love it. Anytime we get to, since we get to 3Z energy really quick, this is live pretty much all game as well. So it's just great to remove any of those pesky 4-drops, as well as with the little combo that we will go into later once if there are any pesky barrier cards. Then we got 2 of the Gohan Rare Power Reclaimed. Pay 1 whenever it gets Z charged. Do bottom deck an opponent's card that costs 5 or less. Or if you have the energy and you pay 3, bottom deck anything in activate battle. A lot of times I am just doing it for the Z charge, 2 Z charge and bottom deck 5 or less. More blue tricks. Then we got 2 oobs. Pay 2 if your opponent has 2 or more Z energy. Draw a card. Send 3 of their cards to their Z energy. And then more hand looping your opponent. If they want to activate a counter, they have to Z charge a card out of their hand. So just a lot of what I feel like this deck really gets their advantage back is making your opponent lose cards out of hand, whether that's through the Gogeta 8-drop, making them combo and drop cards, punish them for activating counters or anything like that. Now we go into a couple 1-ofs. I still kind of have this built for in case of the best of 3. In the case of the best of 3 scenario, this is more or less the build I had at Nats, which I just barely missed out of top 16 and getting 18th place with. So it's still kind of built like that. So we have the 1 of Revenge of the bitter Revenge of the Saiyans Baby. Anytime an opponent's card or whenever a card is placed on the bottom of the deck, and this is in your drop area, pay 1, remove it, discard a card, and then get rid of an opponent's unison that has specified cost 2 or less. So Black Smoke-ish, but only cost 1 instead of 2. And since we are putting stuff into our drop a lot, this is a discard target for the other Gogeta that draws us 2 cards. So just a lot of ways of getting this into the drop area, and it's blue. We bottom deck everything, right? Bottom deck, 8-drop bottom decks, just a whole bunch of bottom decking that. This is going to come up a lot. So any of those decks that are heavy unison focused, it's going to go away. We have the second one in our sideboard. And then other one of also second copy into the sideboard is the Emotional Blow Trunks. This is our cheapest barrier removal blue has. Sure, it comes with the cost of you needing to have either an 8-drop or a 30k on board, but you pay 1, play it, it's critical swing, auto, choose a card, ignoring barrier, and negate the indestructible, and put it onto the bottom of the owner's deck. So it's live a lot of times. We play a lot of 8-drops. If this is ever out, this is an 8-drop. We play the oobs. We play the 8-drop Gogeta, so this comes out and gets rid of any of those pesky barrier cards cheaper. Or going into like Big Action Broly, gets rid of their Garlics that have the indestructible. Or if you're unfortunate enough and run into the Zamasu Mill, then that can help you too. Next we have our battle card counters. We have 4 Android 17 Defending Friends.
Always live?
Yeah. Always live. That's why it's 4 of. We have 3Z energy, as early as turn 2 since we're awakening at that time. And, just, staple, right? Then what I said before, blue's best first turn play a lot of times is Peel Off Shoe and my Cunning Trio. I think a lot of people know what this card does now. At this point, right? You draw a card, strip off the keyword. So whether that be barrier, which is a big one. If we strip away barrier, then we can use our Mortals Be Gone to bottom deck whatever card had barrier if it was 4 or less, or use the Gohan rare. So it just really helps you get rid of annoying barrier cards during your opponent's turn. And then why it's such a good turn 1 play to me is that if your opponent wants to charge any Z energy, now they have to think about it a little bit more, and again, waste cards out of hand to either combo extra or just miss out on like a combo that they may have wanted early, because this will just bottom deck if they want to combo. And then the last one is 2 Heroic Prospect. Blue now has a really good Z Unison if you can afford it with the outrageous prices on it. The Goku Frieza that untaps you in energy, so this is live really early too. So in the matchups where they are wanting to either swing a lot with bodies that are higher than their energy cost, then this will just shut off their turn because no one wants to bottom deck 2 cards and try to swing through it. Those are our battle card counters. For some of our extra cards, we of course 4D magic staple, 2 Sensu Bean. We do a lot of battle tricks, so we need a chance so we can get to untap energy. Really good. And then I always like Instant Kamea or Goku's and Ultra Instinct, Goku's Kamehameha. Always like this card at 2. A lot of people just play it at 1, which I get it. It can kind of become a clunky card, but people are always expecting the first one. They're hardly ever expecting the second one. So it's either a 1 card out to a big swing, or like I said, they aren't expecting the second one. So like if you have 2, then it's just like you play 2 of them. You got out of a swing that they had to drop 4 cards for. Well, that was our main deck.
Want to go Z deck?
Sure. So our Z deck, we have the aforementioned Goku versus Frieza. Pay 2, 1 Z energy. Uptick at 1 at the end of the turn. Untap 1 energy. This I play out in a good portion of my games because just getting a lot of energy untapped, both between this and between the Gogeta that untaps us. You just get a lot of the energy open, so we can keep playing our battle tricks, keep punishing the opponent for making plays. Android 18, Unknown Threat, really great unison for blue now. Double strike, blocker, ±0. Your opponent has to bottom deck a card out of their hand. Again, more hand ripping and looping, making them stay off of cards in their hand. The plus, and then with that one, you also get to untap an energy at the end of turn, so just more energy untap. The +1 doesn't come up too often. It actually did in one of my matchups. Someone had a blocker out, and they had 2 life, 1 card in hand, so I just +1 got rid of their blocker, and now it was double strike swing. That was for lethal. The auto doesn't matter. We don't have an Android leader. Don't worry about that. Mm-hmm. Next is the Deborah 4-cost Z Unison. Our Blue's other more reliable source of barrier removal. -1, bottom deck anything, ignoring barrier, and then again, untap an energy at the end of turn. Dual attack blocker. The second -1 comes up every now and then to just negate one of your opponent's skills on their battle cards whenever they attack with anything. So keeps them with having a few less attacks. If you feel it's necessary, you need to do the other -1. Those are our Z unisons that we play. Next we have a couple Z battles. I play 2 cells. I don't play any of the Beerus. I haven't found, at least for me, that I really need the Beerus, but I've run into a lot of decks that like to go pretty wide on their boards, so Cell just helps suck those all up. If you happen to get 4, then great, you're going to have a triple strike crit that your opponent now has to deal with. We have Janemba, Pure Evil. We do play a couple of Z extras, so this is going to be a one for one, and it can bottom deck anything 3 or less. Whenever it's played, it's a 15k attacker, and then it's auto if we have 4 or more energy. Whenever an opponent's card is bottom decked at the end of the turn, we get to untap energy. More energy manipulation, we love it. One, Sun Goku stronger together. This is against the decks that really want to have like huge hands, like red Gogeta, if they happen to really ramp up the cards in hand. This forces them to go down to 10 cards in hand whenever it's played. If they do have more than 10, they have to choose cards in their hand until they are at 10, put them at the bottom, put those cards at the bottom of the other deck. So that really helps kind of cut down if they were hoping to keep a big hand. Second, activate battle. We aren't a superhero leader, don't play superhero cards, so that one doesn't matter. For our Z extras, I play only one of the Practicing Fusion. From my testing, this card started to be less and less good to me. You get to the Z stack doesn't matter. I don't play the 2 cards you get a Z stack with it, which was a Whis Unison and a Golden Frieza battle card. I don't play them. This one is if you are in the situation where if you are missing some of your Gogetas and you're not finding them, then this one lets you drop the Z energy, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, add any Gogeta, so your 8-drop, your SCR, any of the 5 drops, and then you have to discard 1 out of hand. But again, we play cards that want to be in drop, like all our names, the baby, all that. And then the auto, whenever we play an 8-drop, we can pay 1, remove this from game, choose one of our opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and remove it, put it at the bottom of their deck. So it's more barrier removal, but you had to pay the extra 1, so that means you had to pay 3 on the 8-drop if we want to get rid of the barrier card. So it's okay. It is a fine card. And then the last one for the 2 Z extras, we have 2 of the Mighty Blasts. Just best blue Z extra, right? We either get to bottom deck a 1 or 2 cost cards, like a Beerus Destroys on the first one and get plus 10. That is your opponent isn't expecting that, and they try to swing big with like a 2 cost Z battle or 1 cost Z. 1 cost Z, and they forget this is on board, then they just wasted all that and it's gone. Or the pay 1, drop 3 Z energy, which comes up pretty often because we are hyper ramping our Z energy, so that bottom one is live so much. We get to draw 1 plus the plus 15 to make block a token. That's why I play 2. A lot of times I play 2 within the game. It's just really good. Yeah. That's that, and I'll go to our Z deck. Z deck a lot of times are just, extra deck. Thank you. A lot of times is just extra copies of cards that are already in the deck. So it's just the extra ratios on it. Like we have 1 more Heroic Prospect, 1 more Peel Off My Shoe, our second baby, our second Emotional Blow. Those are all the extra copies of things in there. Mix and match however you want, whatever one you think works best for your main decks. These are all very interchangeable in my opinion, and can easily be fit in the main deck if you just want to switch some ratios around. Other cards, we have Tapion. This is just to respect Zamasu. This could get rid of their stacks that have the indestructible on it, or also respect into Aegis Gogeta, because if they're playing the Gogeta SCR in that one, then this just removes the permanent on that and gets that out, because other than that, this deck has no other way of getting rid of that card, and I know how scary that deck can be. Then we have 1 Black Smoke.
Our 2-cost barrier removal is what I use it for most of the time, since we already have a thing that can remove a unison. So it does that, or at its worst, you can also use it as a draw too. 1 Hunt of the Demon God, counter for green. Most of the time, if they want to try to dormant for free, or into blue if they do a D magic. It didn't come up super often, but that's mainly what it's for. 2 Kuwitsekais. There are so many battle card negates, right? There's so many things that want that, or decks going around out there that want to play cards during your turn, like Bojack. This can punish blue Bojack. Freeze the Swab, they have a lot of battle card negates that, if you do this, then it just really punishes them. But this is also another card that we could get into our drop super easily, and we want it to be there. So, like off of our 5-drop Gogeta, we could just discard this to draw 2, or just any of our other cards that force us to discard. And this is just a good target for it. Blue got a really good card in these last promo set that is our big answers to red. The Zamasu counter. Red, please stop minusing my cards, is what this says.
Yep.
So permanent. The power of your battle cards and unisons cannot be reduced by your opponent's skills. So red, just answer to red, right? They are not minusing any of your stuff. One of my matchups was into the red Vegeta. I saw that they were playing the new Vegito SCR, which minuses 35 something. And once I saw that they were playing that turn, I played the Zamasu counter, then into my SCR, and they were not getting rid of any of these cards. So my SCR got to live for like 3 turns, which was ridiculous.
Yeah.
2 Begrudging Allies, blue's best counterplay, in my opinion.
It's a black card.
It is a black card. Absolute Release Ball puts cards back into your opponent's hand. So, like a lot of times, you're wanting to counter a battle card floodgate, and you don't want them to have that right back into their hand. So, Absolute Release Ball is just going to recycle that. Or Decisive Strike, you have to have a Z battle in play to be able to do Decisive Strike. So, to me, this is just the best one. Counterplays anything 3 or less and puts it into their warp. If you're at 4 less life, it's going to cost 1. Just like Absolute Release Ball, you can't even do that for 4 life anyway as well. So. And then 2 Meki Kaburo, the Broken Seal. This one I mainly use a lot into either Zamasu matchup, if I did run into that, or into the Android 21 matchup. This actually came up against, you just call 4-cost Android 21. They're not playing any of it. Or into any other, like if anyone else was on Gogeta, you could do it into that as well. But the biggest one that this came up against over the weekend was the Android 21. But yeah, that is the deck. I'm very happy with how well it performed this weekend. Getting 13th, going X2. I didn't drop a single round until the last 2 rounds, 6th and 7th round, where I lost to the eventual winner Nick, which great job to him, and then to Raymond's adventure deck, which I was not fully prepared for. So. Other than that, this deck I think performs very well against Vegeta. That's kind of why I am on it. I think it can really keep up with Vegeta's hand size, and as well as its aggression and keeping their board in control and everything. That's one of the biggest reasons why I am playing it. And I think it's a great deck. I think a lot of people should also be playing it because I think it's just a really good blue deck. But yeah, thanks guys for tuning in. Shout out to the rest of the Defy TCG team, putting in countless hours, countless games of testing, and yeah, they've been a big help with helping me really tune this deck into the way I want it. So yeah, thanks guys for watching, and we'll hopefully see you out at the next one.